Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. Zooming in on some more of the intense personality traits of a covert narcissist and a personality disorder. Some of the behavioral traits, thought patterns, and really belief systems that exist in the covert narcissist. So you can better understand, identify these in your significant others, and really understand how it impacts your relationship, yourself, and then maybe some tools and how to better manage and navigate this. And that is, I want to really focus in here on the covert narcissist trait and manipulation tactic of concealing. So, to conceal is different than hide. So, we talk about the covert narcissist and really their outward personality. They seem very aloof, almost like a really sort of quiet and unassuming person, very affable, very easy to get along with, almost like a big teddy bear. I mean, you oftentimes don't hear a lot of complaints from them. They're very oftentimes unassertive. And this sort of quiet exterior really belays or betrays an inner life that this covert narcissist has. And that is one of concealment. The outer shell that you see, the exterior that is so quiet under lock and key, is meant to really provide essentially a decoy and keep others in their life, essentially working as a supply or really being there to nurture and support them. But it also prevents and protects them from having to give more back to you or really share with you their vulnerable side. And really, the vulnerable side is what is under concealment. So if we're concealing something, it's because we don't want someone to know about it, or we, are keeping it from them. And in this withholding, especially if you're in a intimate relationship with someone, the more you pull away, the more you try to conceal, the more energy tends to be kind of built up and create kind of a hostility, or what we call basically a defense mechanism, where there's going to be a conflict consciousness, there's going to be a little bit of unease, and especially from the covert narcissist, it's essentially going to get to a point where the bubble's going to burst, where essentially they're not going to be able to maintain that facade, that affable, sort of quiet, unassuming exterior, and then you're going to get some sort of narcissistic rage from them, which completely belays their outer shell. And, it can feel very alienating to somebody because over time, the more concealing that they do of their thoughts, their beliefs, kind of like their superior self, that they keep kind of fostered and cultivated within, which they don't share with you. This creates a real sort of alienation and a growing divide and a growing rift in the relationship. So it's not something that really tends to plateau. It tends to actually kind of exasperate over time. And especially as one gets older, the mask is either going to become it's going to become thicker, so to speak. It's going to become more pronounced. It's going to become more pervasive. And then the inner self is going to be furthermore having its own life, separate from the others in their environment. And that's when we start to see, it's really after years of being in a relationship where we find out this person has truly betrayed us, excuse me, has certainly betrayed us in a number of ways. They've betrayed us in a number of ways. Specifically, having kind of really a very sort of undergirding sense of a cold shoulder in the relationship, where they just are not present. They're just not communicating. There's that alienation. There's that divide. It's because really the covert narcissist, deep within, they foster a sense of really a grandiose thinking and self-importance and superiority over others in their environment. Spouses included. This is not, something that they just let up. It's a personality disorder. It's consistent within them in their life. And, you know, so oftentimes we, you know, it's the spouse, the one who is really with them, is the one who kind of picks up on it. And it's very difficult for others to see it oftentimes because they're not as close. They just say, oh, he's such a good guy. She's such a good girl. She's so easygoing. I mean, she's just a peach. He's such a, you know, a warm and fuzzy. So, you know, realize that, you know, you don't want to discredit what you're feeling in the relationship, because there actually absolutely positively is validity to what you're feeling, what you're noticing, and what you want to correct and address. So you definitely need to address this with them, and, you know, let them know that you kind of feel like, you know, that they're concealing something really kind of like underneath the surface, or you just feel like there's something that's perhaps inhibiting and holding them back. And, you know, if it's a parent, it's a little bit more difficult to have that conversation than it is with a spouse or, you know, a fiance. So realize that, you know, the covert narcissist is very sensitive to judgment, and they're also very sensitive to confrontation. So they tend to be very uncomfortable by that. And, you know, really, oftentimes they almost seem like a pushover, where they're so, you know, not able to kind of, you know, stand up for themselves. And you kind of feel like there's this hurt person, but they never really show it to you. You might just see it in, you know, in certain strange ways, you know, certain things that they perhaps hold on to, objects that seem really strange that they would hold on to, that seem like it's not really serving them, but it's just kind of representing part of their wounded self. I don't want to say, you know, junk, but, you know, sometimes they have a junk drawer, or like things that are, you know, you just kind of, when you see them, you kind of feel like an inner hurt or an inner woundedness, or you're sensitive to this, and you know there's something there, but they've never really brought it up. So just realize, you know, if you're going to enter into this discussion with them, just say, you know, let them know your love for them. You know, you're the love of my life. You're absolutely an incredible person. You've meant so much to me, and you're so special. You're really magical in what you bring into our relationship, and I cherish that so much. You know, I just feel like there's something inside that perhaps, you know, you're withholding, or, you know, you're keeping away from me. And the more you keep it away, the more it's going to kind of create a little bit of a gap and a black hole or a divide in our relationship. And, you know, eventually it's perhaps, maybe it could even create a wedge within us, and I don't want that to occur. So is there any way we can talk about this and release it and let it go, so that it's no longer a part of your life or bothering you? And, you know, so you know, these types of conversations, it's very difficult to get the covert narcissist to open up, as they absolutely positively are very reticent to revealing their soft side, their vulnerable side, their weak side. I mean, they want to keep that under lock and key. So chances are they're going to resist your requests. So, you know, furthermore, you know, you can just let them know, you know, I'm always here for you if you want to talk about that, but I just want you to be aware that it's something that I have noticed. So if you can at least let them know that you're aware of this, and that you're accountable in the relationship, and furthermore, you expect them to be accountable too. So in other words, it's not just swept under the rug, and we're just, you know, prancing by it, acting like it doesn't happen, because as we all know, what we deny or what we ignore tends to grow. So it's very definitely worth addressing in your relationship with the covert narcissist. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.